It didn't begin with a breakthrough. It began with a betrayal. They called it too big to fail, but one by one, the giants of finance began to fall like dominoes. The year was 2008, and the world's economy was a ticking time bomb, set by reckless ambition and detonated by greed. Investment banks peddled toxic assets dressed as treasure. Government regulators looked the other way, and millions of people were told to trust a system that was already collapsing under its own deception. Then came the spark. Lehman Brothers, a 158-year-old titan, filed for bankruptcy. Wall Street panicked, the stock market plunged, pensions evaporated, foreclosures spread like wildfire. Around the globe, people lost homes, jobs, and hope, while the very institutions that caused the disaster were bailed out with taxpayer money. There was no accountability, no justice, just a quiet, gut-wrenching realization. The system wasn't broken. It was working exactly as designed, just not for you. In living rooms and coffee shops, a question echoed. If they control the money, who really has the power? And just as trust in money, and those who print it, reached its breaking point, something strange appeared on a cryptography mailing list. It was a white paper, simple, technical, anonymous, titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. No one noticed at first. Just 9 pages, no logos, no marketing, no name anyone recognized. But history would come to remember that post not as a document, but as a declaration of war. Every revolution has a spark. This one had a ghost. The white paper was signed simply, Satoshi Nakamoto. No title, no backstory, no face, just code. At first, no one knew what to make of it. A few cryptographers skimmed it, debated it, dismissed it. But then, the code came to life. In early 2009, Satoshi launched the Bitcoin network, quietly mining the very first block, known now as the Genesis block. Embedded in its data was not just code, but a message. The Times, 3rd January 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. It wasn't just a timestamp, it was a shot across the bow, a protest, a prophecy. Bitcoin had arrived not as a business, but as a rebuke, a rejection of everything the old world had become. And yet, the mystery deepened. Satoshi never revealed his real identity. He never stepped into the spotlight. Emails were polite, forum posts, technical. He answered questions, offered upgrades, debated respectfully. Then, around 2011, without warning, he vanished. No goodbye, no final message, just silence. His last known words were simple. I've moved on to other things. The wallet address tied to Satoshi holds over 1 million bitcoins, billions of dollars, untouched to this day. Not one coin spent, not one transaction moved. Some say Satoshi was a lone genius. Others believe he was a group of cypherpunks. A few whisper that he was a government project gone rogue. But the deeper you dig, the murkier it becomes. Because Satoshi left behind more than code. He left behind a legend. A currency with no ruler, a system with no center, a fortune with no owner, and a question with no answer. Who created Bitcoin? And why did they disappear? It wasn't just a new kind of money. It was a call to arms. Bitcoin wasn't designed to be just another currency. It was a revolution packaged in code, a way to take back control from banks, governments, and corporations that had proven untrustworthy. No banks to gatekeep your money, no borders to limit your reach, no permission needed to join the network. It was money for the people, by the people. Small communities of early adopters, cryptographers, and idealists rallied around Bitcoin. It was a digital underground movement growing quietly, yet relentlessly. Freedom had a new face, but every uprising draws a line in the sand. The old powers saw it for what it was, a threat to their control, to their monopolies on printing money, on fees, on influence. The first signs of resistance emerged: confusion, disbelief, and then fear. Regulators started asking questions. Banks scrambled to understand what this strange new Bitcoin meant. And whispers began. Whispers of crackdowns, bans, and shutdowns. The digital rebellion was ready to fight for survival, and the battlefield was about to be drawn. Because in this war for money's future, the revolutionaries were anonymous, the enemies were powerful, and the world was watching. Would this uprising ignite freedom, or be crushed before it could grow? They thought they could crush it, but they only made it stronger. Bitcoin's rise was quiet, almost invisible at first, but beneath the surface, it was spreading like wildfire. Governments around the world woke up to a chilling realization. Here was a form of money they couldn't control. No central bank, no paper trail, no borders, just code and consensus. Panic set in. Some countries moved fast, banning exchanges, outlawing wallets, shutting down mining operations. Others scrambled to slap on heavy taxes, hoping to strangle the movement before it grew legs. Lawmakers debated new regulations designed to trap Bitcoin in a cage of red tape. Banks were told to freeze accounts linked to crypto. Media outlets painted it as a dangerous gamble. a tool for criminals and anarchists. But here's the twist. Every crackdown, every law, every threat only made Bitcoin more resilient. Why? Because Bitcoin wasn't a thing you could hold or lock up or confiscate. It was a network, a community, a protocol secured by thousands of computers scattered across the globe. Each attempt to silence it only pushed it further underground, harder to track, harder to stop. The battle had shifted from streets and courts to code and cryptography. And in this digital war, the weapon was transparency. Where the old system thrived on secrecy and manipulation, Bitcoin thrived on openness. Every transaction visible, every rule set in stone by mathematics, not men. The harder the powers tried to bend the code, the more the code pushed back. The fight for control wasn't over. It had only just begun. When the gold rush started, not everyone came to build. Some came to plunder. Bitcoin had cracked open a door to a new world. A world where digital coins promised freedom, fortune, and a future without banks. Suddenly, everyone wanted a piece of the action. Enter the altcoins. Thousands of new cryptocurrencies popping up overnight. Some offered faster transactions, others touted smarter technology. New visions of finance, art, even identity were launched on digital blockchains. To outsiders, it was a dazzling new frontier. But for insiders, it was a chaotic gold rush filled with promise and peril. Some projects were genuine innovations, pushing the boundaries of what crypto could do. Others, pure smoke and mirrors. Schemes promising sky-high returns lured naive investors. Pump-and-dump groups manipulated prices with ruthless precision. Anonymous teams vanished overnight, leaving fortunes in ashes. Cryptocurrency's Wild West had arrived. Behind the buzzwords and hype, shadowy players took center stage, hackers, scammers, and opportunists who preyed on trust and greed. The dream of decentralized freedom was under threat, but so was the future of anyone who would put their faith and money into this brave new world. Because in this digital gold rush, the brightest lights cast the darkest shadows. Would the real innovators survive the chaos? A revolution for the many, or a playground for the powerful? Cryptocurrency promised freedom, a way to break free from banks, middlemen, and government control. For millions, it's exactly that. A chance to send money without borders, to shop without permission, to hold power in their own hands. A mother buys groceries with Bitcoin in a bustling market. A small business owner accepts crypto payments without a bank fee. For them, crypto is hope, a new kind of freedom. But just a few blocks away in the digital shadows, whales, the ultra-rich holders of massive crypto fortunes, move millions with a few clicks. They manipulate prices, orchestrate pump-and-dump schemes, and grow richer as others lose everything. Criminals launder billions through anonymous wallets, turning illicit money into seemingly legitimate coins. And here's the paradox. The very technology designed to free you is also the most unforgiving ledger of all. Every transaction ever made is etched into the blockchain forever, a permanent public record. You can hide behind a wallet's code, but the trail never truly disappears. Crypto holds a mirror to society, showing us our best hopes and darkest impulses. Is it a tool to empower the powerless, or a new playground for greed and deceit? What if money was just the beginning? At its core, blockchain is more than a ledger of transactions. It's a new kind of trust. Not trust in banks, not trust in governments, but trust in math, code, and collective consensus. This technology promises to transform the very fabric of society. Imagine a world where your vote is recorded on a blockchain, impossible to tamper with, impossible to erase, where your identity is stored securely and privately, controlled only by you, where contracts execute themselves automatically, ensuring fairness without lawyers or middlemen, where even the most intangible human experiences, like love, creativity, and reputation, can be verified and immortalized in code. The blockchain becomes a weapon of truth in a world drowning in lies. But such power threatens the old order. Because when trust no longer depends on institutions, everything changes. This is the real revolution hidden beneath the surface of cryptocurrencies, a revolution far bigger than money, and it's already beginning. Cryptocurrency's promise of freedom comes with a brutal catch. Behind the screen of endless opportunity lies a world filled with hacks, exploits, and rug pulls, where fortunes vanish in seconds and trust can shatter with one wrong click. Your digital wallet is your vault, but unlike a bank, there's no password reset, no customer service, no safety net. Phishing scams lure the unwary. Vulnerabilities in smart contracts get exploited by merciless hackers. Entire projects collapse overnight when founders disappear with the funds. The very code that guarantees transparency can be weaponized by those who know it best. Freedom here demands vigilance. Because in crypto, the stakes are high. Your financial fate hangs on private keys, complex passwords, and the trustworthiness of unknown developers. One moment, you could be celebrating a windfall. The next, your digital assets vanish without a trace. This is the paradox of crypto's power. The same technology that can liberate your money can also strip it away, faster than you can blink. Welcome to the wild frontier, where opportunity and risk collide, and only the cautious survive. The internet is evolving, but who will hold the keys to the kingdom? The internet you know, centralized, controlled by a handful of tech giants, is on the verge of a radical transformation. Web3 promises a new digital frontier, built on blockchain, powered by cryptocurrency, and designed to return control to the people. No more data sold without your consent. No more platforms owning your identity and creations. Instead, decentralized networks where users are owners, where value flows peer-to-peer, where AI-powered agents negotiate, create, and transact autonomously. And then, there are the metaverses, immersive virtual worlds where reality blurs, economies thrive, and digital assets have real value. It's a digital empire in the making, a new realm of opportunity and conflict. But the big question looms: who will rule this future? Will power rest with the people, empowered by decentralized tech? Or will old platforms find ways to reclaim control, cloaked in new names and tech? Or is there a wild card, an artificial intelligence, an unknown force, ready to reshape everything? The battle lines are drawn in code and pixels, and as this war unfolds, the very meaning of ownership, identity, and freedom is up for grabs. The future is being written, block by block. Is it salvation, or just smoke and mirrors? After a decade of promise, chaos, and evolution, the ultimate question remains: is cryptocurrency the dawn of a new financial era? A revolution that will break the chains of centralized power, empower the many, and reshape society forever? Or is it simply the greatest speculative bubble in history, a frenzy of hype, greed, and illusions, doomed to collapse and leave devastation in its wake? The signs point both ways. Innovators are building real solutions, from financial inclusion to transparent governance. Yet wild speculation runs rampant. Crashes wipe out fortunes overnight. Scandals and scams continue to shake trust. The truth? The next moment of crisis or breakthrough isn't a distant threat. It's unfolding right now, in code, in markets, in boardrooms, and on street corners. You haven't seen it yet, but the stakes couldn't be higher. Because whether crypto saves us or breaks us, we are living through history. And when the dust settles, one thing will be clear: this is more than money. It's a question about the future of power, freedom, and trust in a rapidly changing world. Will you be part of the revolution, or left behind in the ruins?